Welcome to the Bros Talk Film Show and Podcast.
You know, we've only got 35 minutes and you've just wasted about half a minute on that.
Yeah, that's well worth it, I think.
Okay, so.
The Bros Talk Film Podcast Show is 35 minutes of times when it's one take and it's me and my brother and we are brothers and we talk about a film that we've only just seen that we haven't seen before. But this is a special, different episode in which we will not talk about a film that we've just seen. We will talk about an issue in cinema and film in general. And we are going to talk about... What we're going to talk about?
We're going to talk about mega franchises.
Yes, mega franchises. Or what I like to call the mega blockbuster. And the definition of that is...
Well, it's really kind of like the recent phenomenon, I guess, kicked off by Marvel and early in that, I guess, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings of big interconnected films.
Yeah.
Obviously, Marvel have taken it to another level.
Yeah, the Marvel Universe in
That
particular,
that take what would traditionally be a single blockbuster and, you know, create a world or a massive Uber franchise.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, with a blockbuster, you feel like, we have to see it. You know, it's the big blockbuster of the summer. Whoa, let's go see it. Now it seems like it's like a franchise of things, and then things come out and you have to see them. So, oh my God, it's the new Star Wars. Or I guess it's the next Marvel film, we have to see this. Or, you know, so that's what we're going to discuss. Whether that is a good or a bad thing, or what are the good things or what are the bad things, and let's have a chat about it.
I guess that's a good place to start, really. Like, in general, do you think the mega franchise is a good thing or a bad thing? Obviously, there's finer points to it, but...
I think it's shit.
Yeah, I thought you did. I had a sneaking suspicion you might not.
What do you think?
It was shit.
I think it's shit.
As you know, my favourite films are the Marvel films. I love them, so... I can't really say that it's a bad thing because I love those films.
Yeah.
But I do also recognise that could be a singular case. There are the Warner Brother films, and however much I liked Batman v Superman, I'm not going to defend it. It was a terrible film.
Right, okay.
I enjoyed it and I loved it. Like, I quite enjoy some of the films like that because... I used to love 80s action films, which really like, you know, light on plot, heavy on action, and I kind of like feel like, oh, this is kind of like them. You know what I mean? We don't get many of them anymore, where it's just like, screw the plot, let's just go and blow some shit action. Up. Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess the Fast and Furious films are the kind of perfect example of that. Right. Just light on story.
I guess that's another sort of franchise thing, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, but this isn't just about... So anyway, we should probably just be clear that I don't think they're totally shit. I think there's some things about them.
Well, like
but
I said,
we are on opposing sides.
I do think they're generally not a good thing. No, a good thing is a bit weird. It's like saying...
As you also mentioned... Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
As you also mentioned, we're going to spoil some films.
Some films.
Yeah. We'll mention the films before you spoil them.
Yeah, we'll give it.
But I think we're going to discuss some films, and so what?
We'll try not to be too spoilery.
Yep.
Because we're really talking about business practices more than we are.
Yeah,
the films themselves, I guess.
I don't know.
But we'll see how it goes. Anyway. But yeah, saying it's a good thing is a bit weird. I think it has its good points, but I don't know.
Well, then let's discuss.
Yeah,
let's discuss.
Well, first, I think the big and the obvious thing to discuss is the money. Both in how much they spend on them and how much these films make or lose if they go wrong.
Yeah.
Though, to be honest, if they go wrong, I mean, everyone hated Batman v Superman and it still made a ton of cash.
Yeah.
But will Justice League make as much cash because everyone didn't like Batman v Superman. I mean, I do think.
So are they going to be connected then? Are they? Because I haven't seen that film and I didn't see Man of Steel. So is Man of Steel was that like the first one of that sort of DC's big sort of trying to do Marvel thing?
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, it was.
Great.
And I love Man of Steel. I know a lot of people hate it. I think it was an awesome film.
Yeah.
And I like a lot of Batman v Superman.
Right, yeah.
One of those things is not the plot. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And the character... No, I don't know.
How did it link up with Man of Steel?
Well, it's the same Superman. And it deals a lot with the repercussions of what happened.
So it's after Man of Steel?
Quite a bit after. But apparently they're making a lot of changes to Justice League because of what happened with Batman v Superman. But I do... yeah, hopefully.
Okay.
I do think the money, though, there are certain things, obviously, that amount of money allow you to do that you couldn't do on a small budget. Like, yeah, they've still got their excesses of, like, I'm sure the catering budget on those films could probably be cut a little bit. And you can debate how much the actors get paid, till the cows come home. But I don't think that's really... Ben Affleck's going to get paid what Ben Affleck gets paid, whether it's a mega franchise or just like he demands his fees or whatever,
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I think the money enables you to tell a story you probably couldn't tell otherwise. Or at least give the audience a certain experience you couldn't give them in any other way. Because story, it gets all mixed up with plot and stuff like that. What I mean is the experience you give to your audience.
Yeah.
And that amount of money allows you to just do that. I mean, you can definitely tell the ones that just throw money, or you don't really get many of them at the moment, but you used to a lot. And they just throw money at it and just be like, well, here you go, some more money. Yeah. And that's not what the problem is. I think you could probably say that a bit of Batman v Superman, but what's your opinion on them? As in how much is spent on them? Do you think it's...
I don't have much of an opinion. Well, I guess... I don't really thought about the money aspect.
Would you rather see 20 independent films rather than one mass?
Well, no, I tell you what, I would rather see less good films than... No, what I mean is less films of high quality than more films where the quality is low.
Oh,
do you see what I mean?
Okay.
I don't want.
Yeah.
I want to see less good films.
Yeah.
You'd rather quality down in all of the films.
See. I think you mean fewer really good films than you would 100.
Yes.
Mediocre films.
That's what I mean. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I mean is quality, not quantity.
Yeah.
And so this is another thing I find kind of interesting. Let's talk about like the Marvel universe. So if you look online, you can get a list of the films that are going to be created. Probably until like 2025 or something? I don't know. Is that too? Like that. That's nuts, isn't it?
But
that's kind of crazy.
They that's work for them. It's work for them because it's given them a definitive plan.
Yeah.
So they know, and that's the one thing Warner Brothers lacks. I mean, I don't know if we're going to go into. We shouldn't get probably too sidetracked between Marvel and DC and who's doing what right and stuff like that. But that also is shiftable. Like they said they were going to do like Black Panther and all that kind of stuff, and then they got Spider-Man and they pushed everything along a little bit.
Yeah, so they do.
And the Inhumans dropped off the end, and they might not even be doing that anymore.
Right. Wow.
It's not like they're locked
things always
into
change,
that
don't
plan.
they? Yeah. But isn't that a shame for the people who are looking forward to Inhumans?
I don't know if any of those people exist, but
no,
I was. That's wrong because I was interested in it. But it was too far away for anyone to really be excited about it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some really die-hard Inhumans fans that
sure
really want to see it. But
I'd like to discuss the plots and the scripts of the films and maybe let's go for a specific like recent example. So Captain America: Civil War. So with this film more than ever, and I felt it for some of the other films in the Marvel franchise. I just say I'm not as huge a fan as you are of the Marvel films. I see if I like them, I really enjoy them, and I do go to see the odd one if I'm interested in them. But you see a lot more of them than I do, don't you?
Pretty much all of them.
You see all of them. You feel like you have to see every single one of them.
Not really. I mean, I try and keep up with all the stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, I've got pretty much most of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. sitting on my DVR.
Yeah, so the thing is, it
Agent
goes
Carter
into TV as well.
Sitting on my DVR. Yeah. I'm only halfway through. Even though I love it, I'm only halfway through Daredevil season 2 at the moment.
There's so much content, isn't there?
That's another thing. There is so much connected to these kind of things that it is, even for someone like me that I absolutely love all of it, it's really difficult to keep up with.
Yeah.
But that might be changing because I mean they've just cancelled Peggy Carter, so
right.
You know they might be trying. Yeah, it is a bit of a shame, but
Wow.
they might be trying to cut back a bit. I think it's because she got a film deal. That's beside the point. She got
okay.
But I don't think it was a kind of like cancelling a female role thing, but I don't really know much about what happened.
Sure. So let's talk about women. No, I'm joking.
Actually, I think
we can talk about it for sure. But let's talk about so with Civil War. What really annoyed me while I was watching it, annoyed me with other films as well.
Something annoyed you in Civil War?
Yeah, but because I haven't seen all of the films, and I don't want to have seen all of the films to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
That annoys me.
Yeah.
And this is one of the problems, I think, with the mega franchises, is sometimes you're expected... You don't have to. Yeah,
everything.
The film doesn't always stand up on its own, and I don't feel like Captain America did it. Yeah, that annoyed me. No. And
I mean, it's difficult for me to judge because I've seen all of them, and I... Weird to say, do a lot of background research into, like...
Sure.
Just you know, reading about other stuff and what's going on. And
yeah.
So... it's hard for me to judge, but I would have thought it did, but obviously not. Why? What fell? Why didn't it?
I just felt there were characters and things that happened that were referred to that I didn't really know about, and that didn't really help. It's certainly
that's your fault, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my fault for not having seen the other films, but then. You know, but so there's two arguments. It doesn't suit a person like me, but it totally suits someone who's really, really into it. And that I think is kind of cool. You know, it's kind of like, after all, Marvel is, they come from comics, and comic book readers, they get all the comics, they read it all, and they do, and all this stuff.
Continuity.
And they're recreating that in cinema, which to an extent I think is very cool. But I think the films need to stand up on their own as well as...
They do. I mean, one of the massive reasons why I love the Marvel films so much, and... I've loved other film franchises for it, and I think like when I get asked what's my favourite genre, really I don't have one, but I figured out a while ago that my favourite type of film is a film that builds a world that is fully fleshed out. It's why I love like Guillermo del Toro films and stuff like that, because he fleshes he creates a world, not just a story.
Yeah.
Like, and I love that. And I think, like, I've always been of the opinion that why can't every single film franchise be, like, interconnected like that?
Yeah.
So why do you have to have, like, this... And you're seeing it more and more nowadays. Like, it's affecting the sequel a lot, what Marvel have done.
Yeah.
Because nowadays, you don't just get this direct sequel, like, say, Ghostbusters 1 and 2. It's a direct follow-on, same characters, same... majority of stuff. I'm criticising that. But nowadays you're getting things like the Cloverfield sequel. It wasn't really a sequel. I didn't see it, so I don't know.
I think it was a prequel, wasn't it?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Or it was set...
It's set kind of before and after, I think. I don't know.
An interesting one, for sure.
But my point is, it's not a direct sequel to Cloverfield. It just lives
I think it's at the same time.
world.
It's at the same time. I think that's what it is.
But anyway,
apparently it's great.
I
didn't like Cloverfield, but apparently that one.
I did like Cloverfield. I liked Cloverfield, but the point is, it lives in that same world.
Yeah,
and I've always thought it's a benefit to do that. Like, you don't necessarily have a direct sequel, but if you've spent the effort in a film to set up the world and even some characters, it allows you then in the next film or in a different story, you can have, now in the Marvel films, you could have, and it's what's going to happen in Spider-Man, you could have Iron Man just drop into the film for like a scene, and his weight in that film is so much deeper than it would be if say there weren't any other Iron Man films or any other Marvel films, and you had a Spider-Man film and Iron Man turned up for 5 minutes, you just think, oh, they did Iron Man for 5 minutes, that's a bit rubbish.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
But you can have people coming in and out of films and you can feel their weight of their character and know who they are because you've seen them somewhere else.
Yeah, totally.
But then that does, like you say, it does put the burden onto the viewer to have watched that other thing. And if they haven't, then that still falls flat more than it would probably if that didn't exist.
Here's how I can put it. I think the film's a better placed if the film can stand alone, but it is benefited. You know, it's even better if you have seen the other stuff as well. Yeah. You know, it shouldn't rely on it. You know, but I also think that thing you're saying about Iron Man just popping up in a film, you know, that's kind of cool. But also, it's like something that really bugs me is, so it really annoys me is, so now if you're gonna watch, well, they've done it pretty well, but so I don't know. So say you watch like Iron Man 3, for example, then you can watch that and you can think, well, where are all the other people? You know, like why doesn't you know,
why doesn't Thor
make you
suddenly turn up and,
you know,
and sort this stuff
and help,
out?
and especially in Thor, like
it's part of,
you know,
suspending your disbelief, really, isn't it? That this is an Iron Man film, so it's Iron Man's going to deal with this.
Totally.
Like,
maybe I'm
you just
kind of
have to take it as, like, this is me defending the Marvel films, and other people can disagree, and that's fine. But like, you just have to take it that, well, obviously Thor or Captain America were busy. Like, like you don't see him give them a call, and why doesn't he, and all that kind of stuff. You got to think. At the end of the day, it's a film. It's entertainment.
At the end of the day, it's film.
It's entertainment.
I kind of.
You don't. Do you have to explain it all? Like,
well, no.
It'd be great if you could find a way to do it, but if the only way that a film could do it is clumsy or would detract from the pacing of the film. Then don't bother.
Sure.
You know what I mean? For me, for other people, it's different. Like, and I'm not telling people not to have those opinions. It's just how I feel about it.
Here's another thing on scripting. So when I watched Civil War, I enjoyed it. I thought the film was good. I thought it got sort of better as it went on. Anyway, I really liked Ant-Man. I like that character, and I hadn't seen the Ant-Man film. And after it, I felt, I'd quite like to see the Ant-Man film because he's quite funny and, you know, it's quite good. But I'd heard about Ant-Man and the production of it and stuff. So Edgar Wright wrote it and was down to direct it. And then this is how I understand the story. Maybe it's incorrect. Maybe you can fill me in or whatever. But what I understand happened was he wrote it, and then Marvel came along, producers came along, and they said, well, you have to put this in, you have to put that in, because this suits the Marvel universe.
Well,
and then he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to change the script, so he got kicked off. And then it ended up being directed by someone else. Is that true? Is that what happened?
Oswald. Well, yes and no, but I don't know. I say yes and no as if I was in the room and I knew what was happening. But from all accounts, and Edgar Wright, that it all ended very amicably. He had a story that he wrote before they really kicked off the Marvel Universe. Yeah. It happened very much how you said, by accounts that, you know, he... Oh, do you want to just...
We just lost our light source.
Lost our light. And it changed, and it didn't necessarily fit anymore. He wasn't really interested in making that kind of film, so he said, well, then I'm not going to do it.
That's a shame. Yes. I think it's a shame.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame that, you know, he had to leave and you know, so we didn't get the director it was intended for. I haven't seen the film, so I can't comment on the quality of the film. Maybe it's great. I'm sure it is. Whatever. I don't.
It is.
You know,
really
I'm just talking about the production, and I'm interested in the production. But B, what's annoying about that is how the producers or whatever, or Marvel Universe, feel that all these movies have to fit in with one another. Blah blah blah. It's again me saying that actually I think there needs to be some great standalone films out of Marvel. You know, why couldn't we? Why couldn't we have
plenty of other,
you know, Edgar Wright's? I know they are, and I will come to it. But I'm annoyed that we couldn't have Edgar Wright's vision, his direction on that film. You know, just because they wanted to fit it into the world.
But that's what they do. Yeah, like it's their property. They can do what they want with it. It was a really good film anyway. Like, it would have been amazing. I'm a huge Edgar Wright fan. It would have been great to see his his take on it.
I mean, maybe it would have been worse.
But,
I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
you never know.
just
You never know.
Just making the point.
But I really don't feel like it's a kind of thing of Marvel turning around. I'm going to get so accused of being a Marvel fanboy for this, but like turning around and going, no, you can't put your original stamp on it. Because just look at James Gunn and Guardians of the Galaxy. They pretty much let him run and do what he wanted with that.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know what happened.
I'd actually say that... Sorry,
I can't feel that it was that he was going to do some crazy weird style that they didn't like. Because that's what they've been doing, is getting... I mean, Taika Waititi's going to be doing Black Panther.
Yeah.
And he did that? He did... what's the name? The vampire one? I haven't actually seen yet. What they do in the shadows. What they do in the shadows, okay. And Flight of the Conchords director.
Yeah.
And obviously that's very different from what, you know.
Yeah, but who's to say that just because you've got different directors for loads of the Marvel films, and this is another point I'd like to make about what annoys me about the Marvel stuff is they all feel the same to me. None of them really. No, they do feel a bit different. They do feel a bit different, and I do have two favourites that I'll talk about, but most of them, they feel similar tone, similar scripting, similar action.
But that's because they've got characters that are consistent throughout the whole film.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I get what you're saying, but I think you would moan more if suddenly Captain America, like from one film to another, Captain America did something completely out of character or became.
No, I'm not saying I don't want the characters to change. I'm just saying I want the style or the direction or just it to feel like a director's film, like an auteur's film. I'd want to see Edgar Wright's Ant-Man and go, okay, well there's an Edgar Wright film. I honestly can't name a director other than James Gunn, Jon Favreau. I know Jon Favreau did the Iron Man films. Other than that, I can't actually name a director for any of the other films and go, well, that's definitely his or her film.
I don't know. Like, I think, like, Avengers, the first Avengers is by Joss Whedon, and it is a very, very Joss Whedon-y film.
Right. Okay.
Guardians of the Galaxy is a very James Gunn film.
Yeah.
Kenneth Branagh did
true.
Thor, and Thor's not really one of my favourite ones.
Yeah.
But I do think you can see his style in it. Like it all has to feel the same tone.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, what's his name that did Iron Man 3?
Didn't Jon Favreau do that as well?
No,
or someone else?
He did.
Oh, right.
He did.
See, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I mean.
Oh god, this is going to annoy me, but something Black. Shane Black, that's it. Shane Black.
Okay.
And you can tell that's a Shane Black film. If you know Shane Black's films,
okay, all right,
you can tell that is a Shane Black film.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's through a Marvel filter, but it definitely has his imprint on it.
Yeah, sure.
How much is debatable.
That's cool. Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it's
but
just
that's how much that I think they should give a bit more leeway into.
Maybe they will, but
but I think there are good examples of, because I'm making the point that I think that they're too interconnected, blah blah blah, with this sort of stuff, and they should be more standalone. I think there are really strong examples. I mean, so Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool. I would say those two are actually my two favourite Marvel films, and they are the ones that absolutely stand on their own, I would say.
Well, here's the big answer, because I was going to bring up Deadpool for a different reason, and clearly this is interesting, because you think Deadpool is part of the Marvel universe. Well, he's a Marvel character,
right?
But he's a character that's owned by Fox. So he's part of the X-Men universe.
Right, I see. So he isn't in the Marvel universe?
He's not part of the Captain America.
Well, there we go. So I can't even count that as part of the Marvel franchise.
And that's
I love Deadpool.
That's
what they need. The Marvel universe needs something like Deadpool, I think.
But they're not going to do a Deadpool. Like, Deadpool, because of its... Well, it was X-rated, or not X-rated, but... R-rated. In America, I can see from the DVD right there.
Yes.
It's a 15 here.
I'm going to hold it for those of you who are watching, if that's interesting.
It's a 15 over here, but it showed that you can have more risky.
Oh, it's a 15. Yeah. That's
Deadpool is an odd example, but it's an interesting one in that, the X-Men films are doing reasonably well money-wise, but I haven't seen Apocalypse yet, but it's not getting great critical reviews.
Right,
That is the most profitable X-Men film that they've made.
Yeah.
And it is also...
It comes out of fan demand as well.
Yeah, it is also the cheapest they've made.
Yeah.
So it does show you that these big interconnected universe films... that showed about the whole ratings thing, but I think that's less interesting than the whole, you can do it on a budget.
Yeah, so they need to take a leaf out of this.
Millions and millions and billions to make these films, these mega franchise films. Or these... I mean, we're talking about mega franchise, but we've kind of segued into connected universes. You know, have to spend. So you can have like you were saying, you can have ones that stand by themselves.
Yeah.
Like Deadpool does. It's very disconnected in tone, although it still lives within the X-Men universe, and it doesn't feel.
Well, what about
Guardians?
Guardians of the Galaxy? Then I think was a really, really strong one.
Yeah,
I felt that
I honestly
stood
think,
on its
I
own
think you would
and
like
felt
Ant-Man.
like the director's film.
And I think you would feel the same way about Ant-Man. It's not so drastically different, but it is very cut off from the rest of the universe. You get a couple of characters, I won't ruin it for you.
Yeah.
But the majority of it is disconnected from what's going on in the wider Marvel universe.
Cool.
And I think if you want to get the stuff that you're talking about, look at Deadpool. Yeah, look at Deadpool, but look at Daredevil or Jessica Jones. They are incredibly different in tone to the Marvel universe as a whole.
Okay, that's cool.
Have you seen either of them?
No.
Watch them, they're awesome.
No. Let's talk about Star Wars.
Do we have to?
Yes.
Are you a Star Wars fan?
Never used to be. But actually, I never was. I saw the first one and I didn't like it when I was a teenager, and we weren't really into it as kids. I think we sort of we were. I reckon we were sort of born
them.
like we were like in between. We would I would say pretty directly in between.
There's plenty of
people of our age. Into it.
My age and your age that are just as into it. Like,
but we weren't. We weren't into it as kids.
I really enjoyed them, but I never really got why everyone thought they were the greatest films ever made.
But I like it. I think it's alright. I only recently, when the new one came out, I decided, right, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch the old ones. And I loved. I always never remember what they're bloody called, but A New Hope was the second one. Or the fifth one.
Return of a Jedi and then Empire?
No, that's the last one. Empire Strikes Back. That's my favourite.
That's how little I know about
wonderful film. Yeah. That's great. So, yeah, Empire Strikes Back, I thought that was incredible. But,
you know, the funny thing is, because, like, a lot of my friends know I'm massively into, like, Marvel and comic books and all that kind of stuff. They assume I'm a massive Star Wars fan as well.
Really? Right,
but
yeah. It's an assumption, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan, but I enjoyed the new film.
Yeah, I did.
What annoyed me about the new film, is in talking about what we're talking about today, is interlinking stuff. You know, I'm gonna spoil Star Wars. You've seen it all. You've all seen it. Everyone's seen it.
I was going to say we should probably retitle this Mega Franchises and Connected Universes, right?
Yeah,
just Mega Franchises.
Totally. So with Star Wars, what annoyed me was. So I was annoyed with characters, and I couldn't fully understand why Matey, what was his name, Kylo Ren?
Yeah.
Killed his dad. Like, why? There wasn't really enough reason there. And I brought this up after the film with someone, and someone said to me, well, you'll find that out later on in the franchise when you watch the next film.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to have to do that. I want to be satisfied after seeing that one film.
It's the
I think that the next film should bring me a new story.
Again, that's a lot of what people were saying about the stuff they were complaining about with Man of Steel. They were like, well, once we see Batman v Superman, it'll all make sense.
And did it?
Well, I liked Man of Steel, but and it kind of did, and they yeah. But now people are saying that about Batman and Justice League. It's like, oh, you'll see.
Yeah, see, I hate that.
When we look back in 20 years
no.
and we watch all the films again together, it'll all make sense. And I think there is a good thing to that. It's like treating them, because to be honest, they're like big long, like, it's treating them like films like a TV series. Like, you wouldn't knock a TV series, especially nowadays, Because that
but
episode,
films aren't TV.
that one episode by itself wasn't very good. It doesn't stand alone. That episode does not stand alone.
Well,
by
that annoys.
itself.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But then you do get episodes of TV.
But with
that do
TV,
stand
you
alone.
see again next week, or you see it soon. With a film, you have to wait a long time. We now have to wait a long time for the next Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm going to find out, and I might not find out in the next film.
Yeah.
There's other issues I have with the film that was like, why did this happen?
For me,
you'll find out in the next film.
It was a
I don't want to.
It was a thing of.
It's annoying.
That interconnectivity
Yeah.
between the films.
Yeah.
It was just like it was the wrong way to do it. Like I think Marvel do it in a really good way.
Mm-hmm.
They work it all in really cleverly, and all their little nods and all their little like Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Are worked in very well and timed out very well as well.
Okay.
Like they don't dwell on them too much.
Yeah.
Whereas something like Star Wars, take for instance where the chessboard or whatever the game is, they lingered on that for about like 5 minutes. So a long shot of that little chessboard.
Yeah.
Like just as a nod back to the original films.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are saying it was the same as the first film, weren't they? But
yeah.
Anyway.
It is the same thing, and they got it made by the guy Phil Tippett who made the original one. But
I think there
was a lot of that in it, and I think with Star Wars I enjoyed the new characters a lot more than I enjoyed the old ones. The old ones just felt like they were there because they had to be.
Yeah.
Like.
So what about Rogue One that's coming out now? What do you know about that?
I know what it's about.
What's it about?
It's about apparently people stealing the first or second. I think the plans for the first Death Star.
Right.
I don't really
so
know.
it's set at the same time as. It's kind of interesting.
Just
I think.
before or.
Right. So again, this is something we're talking about that's happening now. Where, like with Cloverfield, it's happening at the same time.
Yeah, it could be this. Yeah, I mean that is an interesting way of doing it. Like you were talking about having standalone ones.
Yeah.
It's kind of what Star Wars is doing. It's gonna have its main installments.
Yeah.
But then on odd years, it's gonna have its little spin-offs.
Yeah.
Like Rogue One, and they're gonna do a Han Solo early years.
Oh really?
And, they're going to do other ones.
Yeah.
So every if you call them like an off year, the way you're getting not a main franchise episode, you'll get a little spin-off story.
Yeah.
And people are saying like Rogue One is going to be more like a war film, like a proper almost like World War II kind of
cool, to be honest.
thing, and almost very different in style. And maybe Marvel would benefit from doing some stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like to allow them to do more, but they probably will. I mean. They do 2 Marvel films a year now. They're probably, I think at some point they're going to go to 3.
Right.
But then that gets to the point of like, well, how many big films are people going to go and see? Like you're going to reach. I mean, people go on about superhero saturation, but maybe there obviously is a point where you can't afford. I mean, we're big film fans, and I'm a huge just comic book film fan, and I haven't seen half the ones that come out. Like half the big blockbusters that have come out, like World of Warcraft. I didn't go and see. Not World of Warcraft, was it? It was just Warcraft. Sorry, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen X-Men. I didn't go and see Jungle Book. I didn't go and. I haven't seen really Civil War, and that's because I'm a big Marvel fan. Was the only one, and Batman. They were the only ones I've seen of the big massive franchise ones. Like it's part to do with because like some of them had terrible reviews, so I was like, I really can't be asked.
Yeah, so it's better. That's what I was saying at the beginning about having less, less of them, higher quality. But we got a minute left, so let's wrap up. I think that was a good discussion.
Yeah, I think I don't think we should review our own discussion, but
I think we are the best podcast on SoundCloud and the best YouTube show on the YouTubes. So subscribe, push the like button, and send us some hate mail if you disagree with us.
About how we didn't really talk about mega franchises, we just talked about.
Yes, we did.
Well, vaguely, and then we went massively into connected universes.
Now? Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, okay.
I think we're great. He thinks we're rubbish. And we'll end it there. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryd Cook.
We had a good ramble chat.
Ramble chat. Yeah.
Extra points if you know where that's from.
Yeah, well done. Big fan of the Adam Buxton podcast. Okay, that's the end of the show. Goodbye.